What does it mean to think in English? One of the most common pieces of advice given to non-native English speakers who are learning the language is to think in English. While this suggestion may sound straightforward, its implications are far more complex and nuanced. What does it truly mean to think in English, and how can this practice enhance language acquisition? Let's delve into the possible answers to this question and explore the significance of this approach. At its core, thinking in English involves internalizing the language to the point where it becomes your primary mode of thought. Instead of translating ideas from your native language into English, you begin to conceptualize and process information directly in English. This shift can significantly improve fluency, as it eliminates the extra step of translation, which often slows down communication and leads to errors. For example, if you are asked a question in English, thinking in English allows you to respond more naturally and spontaneously, without hesitating to find the right words. However, achieving this level of proficiency is not something that happens overnight. It requires consistent practice and exposure to the language. One effective way to start thinking in English is by immersing yourself in English-speaking environments. This could involve watching movies, listening to podcasts, or reading books in English. Over time, your brain will begin to adapt to the language's patterns, structures, and vocabulary, making it easier to think in English without conscious effort. Another aspect of thinking in English is the ability to use the language creatively. When you think in your native language, you often rely on familiar phrases and expressions. In contrast, thinking in English encourages you to experiment with new words and sentence structures, which can expand your linguistic capabilities. For instance, instead of sticking to basic vocabulary, you might start using more advanced terms or idiomatic expressions that you have picked up through exposure. This not only enhances your communication skills, but also boosts your confidence in using the language. It is worth noting that thinking in English does not mean completely abandoning your native language. Rather, it is about creating a mental space where English can coexist and thrive alongside your first language. This balance is crucial, as it allows you to switch between languages effortlessly, depending on the context. For example, if you are in a professional setting where English is the primary language, thinking in English will help you communicate more effectively. On the other hand, when you are with family or friends who speak your native language, you can seamlessly switch back without losing fluency in either language. One of the challenges of thinking in English is overcoming the fear of making mistakes. Many learners are hesitant to use the language because they worry about being judged or misunderstood. However, it is important to remember that making mistakes is an integral part of the learning process. Each error provides an opportunity to learn and improve. By embracing this mindset, you can gradually build your confidence and become more comfortable thinking in English. Moreover, thinking in English can also enhance your cultural understanding. Language and culture are deeply intertwined, and by thinking in English, you gain insights into the values, traditions, and perspectives of English-speaking communities. This cultural awareness not only enriches your language skills, but also fosters empathy and open-mindedness, which are essential in today's globalized world. In conclusion, thinking in English is a powerful tool for language learners, as it promotes fluency, creativity, and cultural understanding. While it may seem daunting at first, with consistent practice and a positive attitude, it is an achievable goal. By immersing yourself in the language, embracing mistakes, and experimenting with new expressions, you can gradually make English a natural part of your thought process. As the saying goes, the limits of my language mean the limits of my world. By thinking in English, you are expanding your world and unlocking new possibilities.